A very warm welcome to Civilspedia, Current Affairs Digital Library. Today we are going to see 21st March 2018 Current Affairs. So as usual, we will be dealing with two kind of topics. One is learning topic, the second one is prelims topic. In learning topic, we are going to see uncertain peace in Colombia, then insolvency bankruptcy code. In terms of prelims topics, we are going to see Lingayata and Veerashaiva, then dog face bat species, then Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. At last, we will be wrapping the session with National Cultural Audiovisual Archives. The first topic is uncertain peace in Colombia. Colombia appeared in news recently due to its electoral results. The electoral results shows there is an upsurgence from the right-wing parties in overall representation of the assembly. Why this have an impact in the peace of Colombia? To know the impact of upsurgence of the right-wing parties in the Colombian peace, we have to know the history of the Colombia a little bit. Colombia is very famous for its 50 years long civil war. If you are a fan of narco series, then you would have known about the Colombia's fate actually. So Colombia had a left-wing extremist groups as well as right-wing extremist groups as well as this narco people also. So it is an asymmetric war between the government and these extremist groups. To end this, the President Santos went for a peace accord with one of the large left-wing extremist group, which is FARC. The expansion of FARC is Revolutionary Armed Force of Colombia. So they went for a peace accord. Though this peace accord is fragile and have a very high stress or against opposition from the right-wing parties, still Santos went forward and implemented this peace accord. Even for implementation of this peace accord, Santos got Nobel Peace Prize in 2017. So what is the impact of this upsurgence of right-wing parties on this peace accord? This electoral result actually shows there is a clear setback for the peace backers. Who are these peace backers? Or who are actually liberals as well as who are pacifiers or sympathizers of the left-wing extremist group. And also it creates a very increased voice, intensity of the voice of the right-wing parties like Democratic Center Party, which is one of the major party which oppose this peace accord. And the overall culmination of the parties who are against this peace accord are now having around 50 out of 1 or 2 seats. Already this peace accord has been passed with the very meager amount of the majority. Now the overall representation of the anti-accord parties are 50 out of 120. It again going to impact the further stress in the implementation of this peace accord. So now the Santos have to go through lot of pressure to implement this peace accord. And the first baby step has been taken by FARC in the democratic process. But FARC terribly failed to open its account in the overall democratic process. It cannot even muster 1% of the total votes. This shows still people have the horror stories or horror memories which has been established by the FARC in their overall between their habitat and all. So this is the major problem. So FARC, this result may further have a stress in the other left-wing extremist group who actually want to take part in the democratic process. Before we get into the what shall be done, we shall see what is the real performance of this peace accord. The peace accord had a very good performance in the left-wing extremist side. Especially there is a demilitarization as well as disbanding of the FARC, which is one of the great step by this peace accord. And also FARC went for a genuine political force where they want to take part in the overall democratic process. They totally shunned away the violence. But in another term, this peace accord terribly failed. That is actually establishing or providing security to the left-wing sympathizers as well as former members of this left-wing groups. These people actually assassinated by the right-wing militant group. So again, it actually strikes fears in the left-wing extremist group. People who really want peace shall be denied peace. So what shall be done in the future course? First and foremost, we know democracy is driven by the masses. Okay, so the Santos, especially Santos, want to go for the people support. He had to gain the people support for this. And also FARC kind of right-wing rightist extremist group have to participate in the democratic process as well as development process. And one more important thing is there is a great divide between the urban and rural in terms of economy as well as the infrastructure. This has to be reduced to increase the overall peace accord's strength. So these are the things in the overall Colombian peace. The next topic we're going to see is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. See, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code has been established in 2016 itself by Government of India. This have an aim of to reduce the bank debts, which is recently famous for its NPAs. To reduce the NPAs and the burden of the banks, as well as to reclaim those NPAs, to make the bank balance sheet as a very good one. Why this is surfacing in the news right now is due to the practical difficulties of this IBC. Though this code is very robust, still the practical difficulties are used. So before you get into the what are the practical difficulties, we can see further what is IBC. See, in IBC, either creditor, that means banks, as well as the debtor, that means defaulter, can initiate the insolvency proceeding. A PLA should be presented to the adjudicating authority. Right now, the primary adjudicating authority is National Companies Law Tribunal, NCLT. So a PLA will be submitted to them. Once the PLA is submitted, within 14 days, it should be heard. That means it should be said whether further proceeding will be taken place, whether the PLA has been accepted. Once this is accepted, there is a time frame of 180 days. Within this 180 days, the tribunal has to give its verdict, or else it can take further 90 days. So even within a year, in fact it is within 284 days, they will complete the overall insolvency proceeding, which is very good and very sound in terms of management principles. Okay. And one more important thing is the overall management of the corporate, that company will be replaced by insolvency resolution professionals. These insolvency resolution professionals actually constitutes of MBA as well as chartered accountants. This is another important thing, because in India, overall the management having the people who are the major shareholders in the company. So this is again an important move. So what are the practical concerns of IBC? Though it has a very good structure and features, the practical concerns is there is a lack of tribunals. In fact, for 11 tribunals, there is around 9,000 cases. So it is hardly 900 cases per tribunal. So the time limit is a major problem. The timely delivery of the justice is not actually feasible at all. Okay. And in fact, there is another appellate tribunal, which is NCLAT, National Companies Law Appellate Tribunal. There is only one appellate tribunal. Even that one appellate tribunal, I have 2,300 cases. So again, there is a problem. The next one is, in few cases, the 14-day period of hearing is considered as it's not a mandatory, it is only a directive steps. So again, it's going to increase the time bond. Again, it's going to increase the time lag in the overall delivering of the justice. Okay. The other way, there is one problem is this replacement of the management with the IRPs, that is insolvency resolution professionals, is considered as a draconian measures, because the people who are in the management know the real concern or the real working of the overall company. So replacing them with this IRPs have a major problem with the overall functioning of the company itself. So these are the major concerns. And one famous drafting loopholes is there is no provision for an amicable settlement. This creates further stress on the reclaiming of the debts. If the bankers as well as the creditors as well as the debtors want to going for an amicable solution, there is no provision at all. So it is further increase the stress on the overall company tribunals. So what shall be actually done? The tribunal strength has to be increased in a great manner, because government actually underestimated the overall number of cases going to be coming for the tribunal. Okay, so there should be an increase in the tribunal strength, and also there should be a continuation in the same management, because management know what is actually needed to sell the properties of the companies in a better prices. Okay, so the management shall be considered to be in the management place, the same management in the case by case basis, and speedy recovery should be the priority. Rather than going to capture the management, the speedy recovery of the overall loan should be the priority. We all know the time is the essence of reselling the assets. Sagara case is the famous case, where once people know, or once the market know the assets are not so good, there may be a decrease in the prices. Without even any rationality, they come for a bargain to decrease the prices of the assets. So overall, these are the things to be done for the better performance of the IBC. The next topic is very famous, in fact, Lingayata and Veerashaiva. See, Lingayata is very famous in the recent days because Karnataka government have proposed to the central government to announce Lingayata and Veerashaiva as a separate religion. So there may be a high chance you shall be asked about the Lingayata and Veerashaiva in terms of the cultural, okay, in terms of cultural topics. The Lingayata has been started by the Basvana in 12th century itself. Basvana is one of the greatest philosopher who actually pronounced who upholded equality and rationality and all. So the basic idea of the Lingayata itself, human freedom, equality, rationality, as well as brotherhood. In fact, brotherhood means there should not be no hatred to the other human beings itself. That kind of brotherhood, okay? And equality, it's not only merely a caste-based equality, even gender equality has been established in the Lingayata. You can see the Lingayata from the Bhakti movement itself. Bhakti movement, we all know, it is a 8th century movement where the intermediaries like priestly class has been removed and the love should be the primary thing to access the God, okay? So you can see there is a lineage between the Bhakti movement and the Lingayata. Veerashaiva is another Shaiva sect which is within the Hinduism. So it is a sect within the Hinduism. There is a lot of difference between the Lingayata and Veerashaiva. We can see in the next slide what are the difference. So practice is Veerashaiva and Lingayata. Who is the founder is Veerashaiva is considered as the founders is Panja Acharyas. This means there are 5 Acharyas. One of the important Acharya in this 5 Acharya is Renuka Acharya. Remember it, it is highly important. It is Renuka Acharya. They are considered as the founder of this Veerashaiva. In terms of Lingayata, we already seen it is Basvana. Then what is the religious script they are actually following is, in terms of Veerashaiva, it is Vedas, then Agama, then Siddhanta Shigamani. And in terms of Lingayata, Vachana literature. See, in religious script, here there will be a Sanskrit imposition or the participation of the Sanskrit is little bit high. But in terms of Vachana, in the Vachana literature, there are high amount of contribution from the Kannada, as well as sometimes Marathi may come in, but most of the thing is Kannada, okay? And caste and gender equality. There is no inequality in the Veerashaiva. In fact, there is a priestly class, Ardayas, who actually considered as the top in the ladder of caste ladder. In Lingayata, there is a complete equality, even from the gender base as well as the caste base. The structure overall, what is the structure of this temples and priests is, there is a system placed in this Veerashaiva. So there is a temple and there is a priestly class who perform the rituals and all. But in terms of the Lingayata, they totally ban the temple system. They have one system where they will worship only the Ishtalinga. We will be seeing what is Ishtalinga in the next slide. So who they actually worship is, in terms of Veerashaiva, they go for statue of Shiva. In fact, statue of Shiva, which has been explained in this our previous religious script, Sanskrit scripts, like Shiva have a snake in his neck and all, okay? But in terms of Lingayata, it is Shaiva, that is Ishtalinga, which is formless, timeless entity, okay? Remember, it is a formless entity and a timeless entity. So this is the difference between, basic difference between Lingayata and Veerashaiva. Try to remember it, try to by heart it. There is a high chances of question asked in the prelims. The next is dog-faced bat species. The recent international team actually found 2 more species of this dog-faced bats. In fact, previously there was a 6 species of dog-faced bats has been actually successfully founded or recognized. Why it is very tough to find this dog-faced bat species is, they are small, okay? Due to their small structure, they can fly in a very high speed, okay? So these are the features of this species itself. It is a fast-flying species as well as it is an insectivorous species. It will feed upon the insects. The 2 species names is actually, it is Cynopops freeman, which is found in the canal zone of Panama, region of the Panama, and also Cynopos tonkui, okay? Remember the spelling. It is found in the eastern Andes of Ecuador and Colombia. We already seen the Colombia. Ecuador and Colombia are in the South American continent. So this freeman actually, the name is given to honor the scientist Patricia W. Freeman, and the Tonki means in the Woroni language. This is the language is spoken in the Ecuador, okay? In this language it means bat. So this is the picture of the bat. You can see there is a long snout as well as you can see the ears, okay? There is a flapping of the ears in a different direction. So these are the features you can see. I think you can able to see a dog face in this, okay? And in terms of the prelims, we need to know about what are the common facts about the bats. They are the mammals of the order of Chiropetra, okay? And in fact, they are the only mammals which is naturally flying. This is again important because if you remember correctly, in 2015 prelims, they asked whether the rodents, that means like mice, will go for the hibernation or not. In fact, they will go, okay? So try to remember the overall facts of the animals which appears in the news. So first is, they are mammals, okay? Bats are mammals. The wings are actually, which is a 4 limbs, okay? It is a adopted forelimbs which is transferred into the wings for its flight. And they may be insectivorous as well as frugivorous. Frugivorous means they will be feeding on the fruits. So there are also vegetarian bats, okay. You may be seeing the vampires and all. Even there is one kind of vampire bats which seems to be actually feed on the human blood, okay. There is high speculation they feeds on the human blood. And one more important work of this bat species, overall bats, are it helps in pollination, okay. They helps in pollination as well as the bat dung. Actually, the dung is considered as guano, which is a great fertilizer. People usually go and collect this fertilizer from the caves and all. Bat usually stays in the caves, and also we know bat is a nocturnal animal, okay. And there is an accusation against the bat that it is transferring the disease from the wild to the human beings, okay. This is an accusation from the many scientific communities, okay. So that's all in the bat species. The next was we are going to see is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. Why it surfaced in the news is because it celebrated its 6th Foundation Day. Okay, what is the theme of this foundation is sustaining innovation, a market-driven pathway. Once again, I am repeating it. It is sustaining innovation, a market-driven pathway. This institution actually established by Department of Biotechnology, which is under the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. So what is this objective of this institution is they take strategic and innovation project which is from the emerging biotech industry. So their famous thing is they try to take the research and innovation projects in the biotech industry, and also this institution launched National Biofarmer Mission. See, this mission is important because this goes for most of the indigenous production of our pharma. We are already famous in the pharmaceutical sector. Still, this National Biofarmer Mission enhances our presence in the overall pharmaceutical sector. And also, there is one unit actually manages the Grand Challenges India program, which is jointly conducted by Department of Biotechnology and Bill and Melinda Gates. So this program is actually managed one of the unit which is present in this institution, okay, which is present in the BARAC institution. What is this Grand Challenge India is? It is a joint program, as we seen earlier. It is a joint program which concentrate on the health of the overall Indian citizens. Even they go and calculate and assess the overall maternal mortality rate, also how the real impact of the health programs among the overall public, okay. So then the last topic of today is National Cultural Audiovisual Archives. The National Cultural Audiovisual Archives surfaced in the news because it is the first trusted digital repository as per the ISO standard. So this is the first trusted, so remember it, it is the first trusted digital repository. Who actually gave this certificate to this archives? The certificating authority was Primary Trustworthy Digital Repository Authorization Body Limited, UK. Yeah, I know it is very long, but still you have to remember it, okay. At least try to remember it is PTAB, okay, Primary Trustworthy Digital Repository Authorization Body Limited, which is situated or located in the UK. And who is the nodal authority of this archive? The nodal authority of this archive is Ministry of Culture, Government of India. This archive is in the Indira Gandhi National Center of the. So what is the basic objective of this archives is, it is try to preserve, first it will try to identify and preserve the cultural heritage of the India, which is available in the audio-visual form. Again, this is important because it shall be accessible even to the differently abled people, okay. So it is in the audio-visual form. So these are the important objective of this National Cultural Audio-Visual Archives. And one more important fact you have to remember is, this overall archives is empowered by Digitalia. See, Digitalia is a platform where you actually manage overall your files and your credentials and all. So Digitalia is the platform which empowers this archive. This Digitalia is developed by Center for Development Advanced Computing. It is CDAC. It's famous in our overall science programs. CDAC, it is in Pune. So Digitalia is developed by CDAC in Pune. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Thank you.